And here we go. What's up? It's me, it's Bat Fan. I'm gonna go over my picks for this weekend. Throw some college football in there because I've been really hot with college football. I'm 21-0 going into this weekend, so I'm gonna give you my college football picks and my NFL picks, and then Sunday I guess I'll try to do a reaction show from the games. I've not too many games I really want to touch on this weekend because it's week two. There's some surprising teams. I don't know if that's real or if that's how's it, or is it just like beginner's luck kind of until some of the NFL teams can get a look on how you're gonna play this year. Because every team, there's a lot of new pieces to a lot of NFL teams like every year, so you don't know who's for real and who's not until like week five, basically. But there are teams I think will come out their shell this weekend after a disappointing loss in week one. So let me go over it. I'm going to go, and this is my 3 game parlay I put in. I put the Niners -6 over the Rams. I took the Giants -2.5 over the Cards. And I took Denver straight up against Washington. That's my 3 game parlay for the NFL. And I'll just go over who I think is going to win the games straight up. So let me go through it real quick for you. These I did not put bets on these games, but this is how I feel. Green Bay versus the Falcons. I think Green Bay wins that game. I think they're better on defense. They have a better offensive line. Uh, Jordan Love, he looked good. He just didn't complete the majority of his pass. He did barely complete the majority of his passes. He was hanging around 50%. He couldn't complete a pass on first and second down, but on third down, he was like 80, 77, 80%. So that's when it counts. The Bears go into Tampa. Tampa had a big win last weekend against Minnesota. Minnesota has this issue with fumbles. So does the Bears. They have turnover issues. I do have to say Fields did look better passing the ball in the game against Green Bay, which Green Bay has a good secondary. Well, I can't say about the Bucks. The Bucks secondary blows donkeys. So I would bet on the Bucks because I can't go against the Bucks. I'm a Buck fan, even though they can lose this game. Um, and Tampa Bay, please re-sign Mike Evans. Thank you. Me again. Every time I talk about the Bucks, I will say re-sign Mike Evans. He deserves to retire a Buck. He doesn't want to go anywhere else. He wants to play for Tampa Bay. We got Seattle versus Detroit in Detroit. Detroit had a big win against Kansas City. I mean, they won because the Kansas City receivers, Kadarius Toney. Oh, sorry, couldn't catch shit if you threw it on their face. So I think Kansas City have a bounce back, and I do think they're going to try to give Kadarius Toney the ball. He is a playmaker with the ball in his hand. I think they win that game. I forget what the spread was. I think it was like, oh, sorry. I'm talking Seattle versus Detroit. Wow, I went off topic. I think Seattle goes into Detroit and wins. So I just don't I just don't believe in Jared Goff. That's just it. Vegas versus Buffalo. Vegas beat Tennessee last week. They will lose to Buffalo in Buffalo, especially because Buffalo lost to the Jets. If Buffalo goes 0-2, it's going to be very hard times in Buffalo looking at that staff, offense and defensive coordinator. The Chargers versus the Titans. The Chargers were in the game of the week last week, and the Titans were in a snooze fest. I don't see the Titans having enough offense of skills. When they had to pass the ball last week, Tannehill just sucked. So he also was getting used to having Hopkins, but I think the Chargers win. They have to win. The Colts versus the Texans. I want to watch this game real bad. I'm going to take the Colts. I think they have more pieces in place to make Anthony Richardson successful than the Texans have to make CJ successful. The Ravens versus the Bengals. This should be the 4 o'clock game. It's at 1 o'clock. This should be the game of the week, but it's not. I think the Ravens make the Bengals go 0-2. I the Bengals looked really bad week 1. So I cannot fathom why this game is on at 1 o'clock. Like, NFL, hello? This is the best matchup. I think it's going to be gritty, hard hitting. There's going to be some points scored. The Ravens offense is supposed to be a new offense. It looked like the same Ravens offense. Well, I like the Ravens personally in that game. Kansas City versus the Jags is the next game on the slate. I'm going to go with Kansas City because I just don't see them going 0-2. Like I said, I think Tony is going to have a big game. If you're a daily fantasy player, you could get him real cheap. I think he puts up 6 receptions, 102 yards, and 1 touchdown. Maybe they'll get him in a kick return game too. I think he's going to have a bounce back game. He has a lot of talent. He just got to catch the ball. That's it. Well, I already said I like the 49ers over the Rams. I like the Giants over the Cardinals. I like, obviously, the Cowboys over the Jets. I think it is a very low-scoring game, though, and it might come down to the last drive. So I just don't see the Cowboys putting up 40 points against that Jets defense. And so maybe the under, if you're wanting to gamble on that, I would go the under. Washington, Denver. Obviously, I like Denver, and I also like the under on this one. I didn't put that in, though. Dolphins versus Pats. The Dolphins are not going to run around and score as many points as they did last week on a Bill Belichick team. This might be the upset special of the week. The Pats might win, So that's the Sunday night game. I don't see Tua throwing for 400 yards, 360, whatever, in this game. The Pats, they are very good. They are coached well. Their defense is always top tier. So Tyreek Hill is not going for 200 yards this game. The Saints and the Panthers are the first game for Monday night. I don't like saying I like the Saints, but I guess I do. I'm going to go with the Saints over the Panthers. I'm not putting money on it, but they have a better team right now than the Panthers. And then the last Monday night game is the Browns versus the Steelers. I think the Steelers win. I think they beat the Browns. I think Mike Tomlin's such a good coach. He's going to turn it around. They're not going to lose, in Pittsburgh to the Browns. He's just going to coach those boys up. And this is my college football, the 3 games that I put in a parlay. I put FSU minus 17.5. I bought down the points. And I bought down the points for Penn State to 5.5. And I took Colorado and the over. I took Colorado at minus 17.5 too. I bought down the points. And I took the over. I think they're going to just want to throw mad points on Colorado State because that idiotic coach was talking shit. Don't give this Colorado team any smoke, bro. Just shut your mouth and play the game. Don't talk shit against them because they're already angry. They're an angry football team because everybody in the country's hating on them. I'm not hating on them. A little hate. I throw a little shade towards Deion because of that. He said whatever. He's not a Seminole. He's some college bro. Florida State fan here. you're a Seminole for life. A lot of the ex-players, you know, my beautiful scenario this college football season is that Colorado goes undefeated, Florida State goes undefeated, then they play in the playoffs the first matchup. Sorry, Deion, and I hope Florida State smokes you. So you know, there's level to this shit. I do love you, Deion, though, but you can't be down because your butt hurt over Florida State not picking you as the coach. It's fine. You know, they gave you a good excuse. They said get a resume in college football because you're going straight from high school to college football. They said get your resume, get a couple of years under your belt, and come back. You know what would be funny? He builds this Colorado program, and then he goes to Florida State in 5-6 years. That would be a funny story to this. Uh, so that's the parlay I'm taking: FSU, Penn State, and Colorado. And I found a place where you could take Shakur plus 3 touchdowns. I think he throws for maybe 4, but he's definitely going to have 3 touchdowns, and that made it like a plus 750 with the boost I used. So those are my picks for this weekend. Hope you guys all win your stuff. You know, this is the Bat Fan, and I'm out. Got things to do. It's Saturday. Got to cut the grass because I'm a real human. Peace out.